Hi there, quick update. I don't think I ever made a video on this build. I did this last December for my daughter. It was about Berlin. It's based on a M-sized aluminium 26-inch mountain bike frame. Univega aluminium, I would say 90s, 80s possibly. I'm using a Kestle Austrian steel fork. It's a 1 1/8 inch threadless setup. The headset I think is the one that came with, or I had in my stash from pieces, I don't remember. So that's the two main ingredients, and so the bikes, the wheels of the bike, also something that I was hovering forever at my father's house. They could have been there for like 5-10 years being in his way. Thanks again for storing all of this, Dad. So the tires are new or almost new. The Schwalbe is something like a City Jet. Yes, I think it's about 2.0 or 1.95, something like that. They're just about perfect compromise between width and weight for city bombing, as I would call it. This is a saddle that should be more at home on a street racing bike, but I love them nevertheless because they're nice and light and they're still very comfortable. Here is about your latest and greatest bar from China. It's 780 wide and has an 80mm rise. The rest is fairly normal, as in angles and whatnot. I'm using a wake, heavy duty wake stem, because of its shortest and highest rise, shortest reach, and still, as you can see, the seat post is about right for my daughter. She must be about 170 or maybe a little bit less, and the bars are still barely above the seat, so she wanted it comfortable. So I'm afraid I fall short of the comfort end here, even though I tried my best. So it's the highest rise in a short stem, and it's the highest rise bar available for reasonable money. I think you pay something like 20-25 pounds probably in Britain by the time it's your house. So the setup is totally basic. I'm using a 1x. I'm having a 38 tooth narrow wide tooth ring. Let me can I turn this around with one hand without damaging the whole house? I would say the poshest and most expensive and most amazing ingredient is the world's best grips. What's this guy called? Darren Fairclaw or something. Death Grip, DMR. In this case, thin and hard and red. I love them. I use them on all my bike now, just like that, thin and hard. I like to not have too much in my hand, so therefore thin, and I prefer the hard because I don't like mushy. We have not much suspension on this bike other than a slight little bit from the steel fork flexing and quite some tire, even though it's a 26-inch wheel, and the rubber. So that's the three elements of suspension, and that's that. And the aluminium frame is as rock solid as they ever were, so not helping. Seat post is quite exposed, and I think it's a 27.2, so therefore there's a little bit of suspension from the seat post and some of the seat. So the brakes are pretty much no name V-brakes. They do the job, nothing special, but you know, there's a lot of things below a V-brake as in for performance. Chain is I think this must be seven speed. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. So yeah, probably a 8-speed chain. I can't remember. It's a golden one. It has survived nicely. the worst conditions you can throw at a bike, well, that would be worse. It could be immersed in salt and be ridden every day. So this was just standing about. The wheel, some long time ago, I have drilled it all the way around. I've asked my daughter to come up with the rest of the stickers to close the holes. I guess this one has come off, or she forgot about it, I don't know. So we'll need to plug this hole because it rains on it, water goes in, not good. So this is as much as I want to do for the first ride. Okay, one more thing. Narrow wide, 38 tooth. If you're completely in a flat scenario, like Berlin's completely flat, that's fine. And with the spreader gears, we're doing good. So here's some very old Decathlon copies of some famous bike in aluminium. They spin on like on the very first day. I have not serviced them ever. I bought them new about 20 years ago on a bike, came on a bike, by Decathlon for my daughters, one of my daughters, can't remember. And the only thing that I'm using is a width extension, which is something that I love because I like to stand a little bit wider on the bike. And the Shimano cranks is a very generic base model, but it uses a 104 BCD, and therefore narrow wides are really cheaply available from China, and there's nothing wrong with them, I must say. I must admit. I think the seat post clamp came with the frame, and the seat post is fairly nice. So let's go riding. Okay, levers. Shimano 8-speed lever, 400 CX, whatever that is, and Shimano again. Nothing special, do the job. There's a lot worse and there's a lot better. And then we have a recycled 1980s Germanish steel rack that goes through the front QR. As much as I was worried about that to start with, this works fine. I'm using this kind of system on many other bikes and it works nicely. And this is some cage that probably came from the Decathlon too. It's just zip tied on right now, and it's not faring so well. This is brand new, has never done anything, but it's not so happy. We'll see how long this will last. My daughter must have lost the thingy that comes with this to clip it on, but that's never a good solution. So it just sits on a rack and it's put on there with some fairly strong zip ties. We have a front light because that is necessary so people can see you. I don't know where this came from. It's brand new, it's good, it does the job, it's cost next to nothing. Okay, no rear light yet, so that's to be done. And that's it. So let's go for a little ride and see that. So what I like to say about this bike, if you just want to buy any or build any bike nowadays, and you want to cater it for a specific reason, and in this case a city bike that is quite agile and it lets you go a little bit off-road, a little bit of gravel, in comfort, you want a bag, a basket and a rack, I think that's the way to go. I would build another bike like this. Unfortunately, this being a medium-sized frame, this is completely too small for me, so I would have to have a different size. But for my daughter, size is perfect, can stand over it nice and easy, and yeah. The complication that this gives you is the relationship of bar height. So let's say I was going to buy something and I want to build a goofy bike for me. I would start with the same frame, but I would use a hybrid setup. I would use a 28-inch front fork and a 20-inch front wheel. The rest, and that just brings the front up. So maybe then combine that with a slightly longer frame, slightly bigger, then you're good. So, but let's just say, like, what is hanging around, what is laying around, what does nobody want, what is absolutely worthless is a 26-inch mountain bike frame. So you can make so many cool things out of it. And this to me is a prime example. So it's probably the whole build cost me maybe 150, 200 pounds tops, and everything is perfect. You know, you couldn't make it any better unless you want lightweight or you want younger ingredients, but for just something that's not so easily stolen because it's not so precious, there you have it. Okay, let me know what you think, and later I'll try a video for riding out.